जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। राधा जम सुंदर राधा जम सुंदर राधे। जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा। जय गो प्रमाण को जो विष्णुपाद ब्रह्मंत प्रभराज का जरा स्त्रोत्र सतश्री श्रीमद जैसी भक्त वेदांत संस्कोपाल की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद ब्रह्मंत प्रभराज का जरा स्त्रोत्र चतुश्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी गोपाल की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मानकपुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru and Gauranga Prabhupada की जय। ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण विष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नाम नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे विशेष शून्यवाद पंचांत स्थान। Thank you for joining. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, Opulence of the Absolute, verse number 8, 9, 10, and 11. Let me share. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritcharam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhakti Bhavdaneshti. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, applies the absolute verse number 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Very important verses. These are called ChatuSloki. 4 important verses of Gita. Whole Gita is summarized in this. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Word to word. Aham, I. Sarvasya, of all. Prabhava, the source of generation. Matta, from me. Sarvam, everything. Pravartate, emanates. Iti, thus. Matva, knowing. Bhajante, becomes devoted. Mam, unto me. Buddha, the learned. Bhava samanvitaha, with great attention. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotion service and worship me with all their hearts. I repeat, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotion service and worship me with all their hearts. Packed verse. Okay. Verse number 9. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Word to word. Matta. Their minds fully, Matchitta, their minds fully engaged in me. Madgata prana, their lives devoted to me. Bodhayanta, preaching. Parasparam, among themselves. Kathayanta, talking. Cha, also. Mam, about me. Nityam, perpetually. Tushyanti, become pleased. Cha, also. Ramanti, enjoy transcendental bliss. Cha, also. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Repeat. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Nice verses. Number 10. तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति ते तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति ते तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति ते तेषां unto them Satvaja always engaged Bhajatam in rendering devotion service, Preeti Purvakam in loving ecstasy, Dadami I give Buddhi Yogam real intelligence, Tam that Yena Bayuch Mam unto me Upayanti come to they translation by Shapopad. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Repeat. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Verse number 11. This is the last verse of today. तेषाम् एवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता तेषां for them eva certainly anukampa ardham to show special mercy aham I agnanajam due to ignorance tamaha darkness nasayami dispel atma bhava within their hearts sta situated gnana of knowledge deepena with the lamp vasvata glowing translation by Shipopad to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Repeat. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So, I'll try to understand these four verses. Yeah. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय गौर भक्तवृंद की जय थैंक यू ऑल फॉर ज्वाइनिंग so we'll try to understand these verses from 8, 9, and 10, and 11. So far, we have discussed in the last section that the 10th chapter, Opulence of the Absolute, the first section, 1 to 7, we covered Krishna is the source of everything. Then, today's section, we are covering. Now, because Lord Krishna is explaining about how he is the source of everything in terms of the great rishis, great sages, no one can know him unless he is a pure devotee of the Lord. Is describing in to some extent, but now in condensed form, how he is the source of everything, and then how by engaging in devotion service of understanding him, understanding the full breadth of it, then how one can come to him, one can develop loving exchanges and attain Krishna Prema. Has been described in great detail within these four quoted verses. So that's why these four verses are um, ChatuSloki Bhagavad Gita. The whole Bhagavad Gita is summarized in these 4 verses. Srimad Bhagavatam also has in the second canto, 10th chapter, verse number, I think, 33 to 30, 33, 34, 35, 36. Similar verses are there. Lord explaining to Lord Brahma. So those 4 verses. So now, and then the next section, after Lord Krishna explaining first time in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna comes to confirm the position of so far what he understood about actually who Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is. Is he his friend or who is he? He's been confirmed in the next section. After hearing this ChatuSloki Gita, you can understand how powerful it is. The 12 to 15 is the next section, Arjuna's glorification of Supreme Lord's position. And then further, there are some questions asked by Arjuna, that is Arjuna's question 16 to 18. And then Lord Krishna actually explains the opulences in this world, some of the examples elaborately, 19 to 42. Because so far he hasn't given, he's only describing in brief what these opulences are, how difficult it is to know him, know these opulences, and how the living entity is covered with ignorance, all the way from topmost position of Brahma to downward position. That's why we chant the verses. Om Ajnana Timiram Dasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Because only by Guru, spiritual master, pure devotee of the Lord, he can remove this ignorance. This ignorance is so covered in every pore and every jnanendriyas, every section of this body, gross body, subtle body. So that's why one needs the pure devotee of the Lord, representative of the Lord. By his mercy only, Tate Krishna Bhaje, Guru Sevan, Maya Jala Chute, Krishna Prem. So only way we can remove these knots of this material world, remove the knots of the ignorance by simultaneously serving Lord Krishna and spiritual master, then only we can remove this ignorance. This ignorance is compared in the morning class also we're discussing that this ignorance is compared to Timira. Timirandasya. Anda means darkness. Guru, that's why Guru is called heavy. In this whole material world, everything is light, nothing is heavy. Only Guru is heavy. So he can remove the ignorance. We may be great scholar, we may be having great riches, we may have great strength, so many things. But by simply one hurricane, one catastrophe, finish, everything can be wiped out. Everything can be wiped out. We have no strength whatsoever. So that's why we have to catch. When we are strong, so even when materially we may be strong, but unless we catch hold of the strongest, that is the spiritual master, pure devotee of the Lord, because Krishna is running behind his pure devotee, as we can see. Yasodama is running behind Krishna, and Krishna is running behind Yasodamai, and Krishna is running behind the court boys or the gopis, not anybody else. He is not running after anyone else, only his pure devotees. Anuvrajami Tishtam Puet Angri Renubi is running always behind his pure devotees. So that's why the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is describing how Lord is in great love with his devotees. Otherwise, there is no possibility. Prahlad Maharaj is explaining to Hiranyakasipu, Matirna Krishne Paratasvato va Deva Avipadyeta Graha Vratanam Adanta Gopi Panascharvita Charvananam. Matirna Krishna, you cannot put your mati, your mind, your intelligence in Krishna unless one is favored. One is favored by the Mahiyasam Padarajo Abhishekam Nishkinchana Pranita Yavat, by the pure devotee of the Lord. More we run away from the pure devotee of the Lord, more we vilify the instructions of the spiritual master, then to that extent this Timira is like dark, dense fog. When fog is there, if you drive to New Vrindavan, you'll know.
So I'm waiting for the interest.
Hare Krishna, mute your lines. Okay, good. So this is so dark, especially when you drive in the high hilly area. You'll know, especially in the morning or in the night time when it is so foggy, you can't even see in front of your car itself. You can put so many lights, still you can't remove this fog. Only sun can remove. Same way, the only guru can remove. Sun can only remove what external things only you can see. But internal heart, who's going to remove? Internal heart, all the anarthas, all the contaminant, who can remove? Only the pure devotee of the Lord who has capability. Why? Why spiritual master can remove? Because spiritual master is always thinking of desiring and thinking to please Krishna. Please Krishna. Because he is following the footsteps of previous acharyas, especially Srimati Radharani. Two things are happening. One is always pleasing Srimati Radharani. Lord Krishna is the topmost devotee, the best devotee. So she is always desiring to please Krishna's senses. We are not desiring to please the senses. Did we ever think when we go to temple or at home? Did we ever think that when we put more salt, when the sabjis or whatever item didn't come out? Yes, we are thinking, oh, today food is not good. But are we thinking, did we ever think that did Krishna eat properly today? Did he like it today? No, we never think. We think ourselves. Food is not good today, or food is tasty today. Oh, today we have paneer, or today we have this. Our tongue is thinking about ourselves, our pleasure. But that is not real bhakti. Real bhakti is to give pleasure to Krishna's senses. Who is doing that? Only the Guru. Guru pasya andakarasya rupasya nirodakasya. That's why he is the one who removes this andakar, the grossest ignorance from our hearts. From our hearts. It is not by our intelligence, by our mind, by our any scholarship, we cannot remove this ignorance. It is not possible. That's why Divya Gnan Hruda Prakashito. The heart has to be illuminated, enlightened with transcendental knowledge. After removing this ignorance, after removing all these anarthas, who does the job? The Guru represents two things. One is always desiring to please Krishna, and always, second one is always carrying the cleansing power, removing all the anarthas by carrying the potency of Lord Balaram. So Guru is carrying Srimati Radharani's energy, Guru is carrying Lord Nityananda Prabhu's energy. By these two powers, Guru is heavy. Guru is heavy in removing these anarthas. He can only remove, no one else can remove this ignorance. That's why in these four verses you see that the ecstatic symptoms are being described. The bhava, transcendental emotions are described at the level of gopis, at the level of topmost pure devotion service. It can be understood at the beginning stage also, but these four words also can be applied at almost at the highest stage. So, but it is only possible by the pure devotee of the Lord. So that's why we have to understand this. Divya Gnan Huda Prakasito. He can only remove. Otherwise, he could have said Mana Prakasito or Buddha Prakasito. No, it is Hruda Prakasito. Within the heart, after cutting all these things, all the knots, vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarvasamde kshiyante chasya karmani društva evatmanisre. When will you see actually your real identity, your real position of servant of Krishna as the Brahman position, your original Swarupa, your original identity, whether you are coward boy, whether you are. When will you hear the flute sound of Krishna? Only when this ignorance is removed by the Sabda Brahma, which is given, revealed by the spiritual master, pure devotee of the Lord. Then, after hearing sufficiently the holy name of the Lord and the Krishna Katha, then gradually this ignorance is removed with the pure devotee of the Lord. Then we can come to the understanding of our real position. Then we can communicate, we can hear the flute sound of Lord Krishna. Then we can enter into the spiritual world, and actual service begins there. Guru is there also, Guru is always instructing even there also in the spiritual world. It doesn't stop here. Initiation is just a formality. It doesn't stop there. Minute we stop desiring to the please Guru and Krishna senses, then our initiation is only a formality. It's not really real connection is not there. It is only external, but internal connection is missing. So that's we have to understand this. Then only these four things, as it is mentioned, the four important verses are described. We cannot understand these four verses if we are not able to actually understand the pure devotion service. Pure devotion service is devoid of karma, gnana, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, not even liberation. That means we are desiring something. Liberation also means is desiring something. We are looking for some results. Pure devotee of the Lord not looking for any results. Gopis are looking for any result. No. Yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrushayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahenami. Aslishavam padaratam pinastu mam marmatam karotva yata tata vatulam pato mat prananadastu sayeva napara. They're constantly thinking in separation from Krishna. They're always thinking how to please Krishna. And they are ready to go to hell also. They're ready to go to hell also. They are ready to give their dust if it is going to cure the headache of Lord Krishna and Nagramani. No one wanted to give. The queens of Dwaraka also, Rukmini Satyam, no one wanted to give. When he came to the gopis, they are ready to give. Yes, if it is going to cure Krishna, yes, we will ready to give. We will go to hell. We don't have fear. So that is the position of the pure. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give actually this kind of love, of highest level of Krishna Prema. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanay Tadham Sri Vrindavan Ramya Kachad Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pamardo Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matam Idam Tatra Adharana Para. There is no other superior truth than this of the highest form of ecstatic love of gopis, of Krishna Prema, the highest love has been brought by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why we must take it very seriously because it is not easily obtainable. We cannot remove this darkest ignorance by ourselves, by ordinary endeavors. We have to seriously try to please Guru and Krishna's senses. Then we can remove because Lord Krishna is because the one who is having the highest adhikar, highest qualification for him by simply reading and hearing Shastra, he can be at a elevated stage. He can understand the whole tattva and siddhanta, and he can be serving Guru and Krishna. But we are not at that level by simply hearing Shastra without the mercy of the pure devotee of the Lord, without serving him without serving his representative, we won't be able to understand. So that's why Lord Krishna is appearing in these three forms Shastra and Guru and Paramatma. Three forms Lord Krishna is expanding himself in the form of Shastra. That's why it's Apaurushaya. This transcendental sound vibration in terms of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrta, so all these are the transcendental subject matter coming from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. It is not man-made creation. No ordinary material living conditioned soul has created these transcendental sounds, these transcendental letters, transcendental subjects. It has come from the Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna's mouth. So that's why the Shastra is non-different from Krishna. We must, but how will we realize? Shastra only by Bhaktya Bhagavatam Gahya, na Buddhyaja, na Tikaya. You can't understand this transcendental literature without the mercy of the spiritual master. That's why we pray sincerely. Even I cannot explain anything. I don't have anything, any qualification whatsoever, materially or spiritually. Only I sincerely pray before I give class, before I do any service. Sincerely pray to the divine masters of Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Prabhupada. My spiritual master is Golna Jayaprakash Swami and Tulsi Marani and Lord Nityan Prabhu. Only they can remove. They can remove the ignorance. They can enlighten what these verses are talking about. What is the in-depth, the actual real essence of the verses, real essence of service, how service should be done, how they wanted it to be done, not the way we like whether it's cooking or garland, whatever service we do, but how it should be done in a way it is pleasing, in the way Srimati Radharani wants, in the way Lord Nityananda Prabhu wants to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the way Srila Prabhupada wants to serve his previous acharyas and the Supreme Lord. So that's why we have to take their desires, we have to take their strength, we have to take their intelligence, and then we will be able to do something, then we will be able to please. Otherwise, there is no possibility to understand this transcendental subject matter by simply reading Shastra or simply hearing it, unless we are banking on the lotus feet. That's why Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Kevala. There is no other way to get it. There is no other way to get it. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadna Bandhu Moi Savadana Mate. That means we have to be really be attentive, really paying attention. Savadan means sadhu savadan. You have to be very careful how we do things, how we think, how we act. So what we do on a day-to-day basis. So let's say we have to Shuddha Bhakti Charana Renu Bhakti Anukula. Bhajan Anukul. Favorable devotion service doesn't happen. We can't accept favorable things for devotion service on a day-to-day basis. We cannot decide in life, in terms of our work or business, whatever we do. Many times it is not favorable to devotion service. We are not able to do. Why? Because we are not catching the lotus feet of the pure devotee. That's why we are not able to do. We don't have strength. We are so weak. Materially, we might be great, strong CEO of the company or whatever the case may be, but we are spiritually so weak, so weak. We have to depend on the Krishna. That's why the fourth verse also, today's fourth verse is talking about even if somebody is weak in terms of, but if he is depending on the mercy of the spiritual master fully, even if he has anarthas, is not able to do sadhana so much. But if he is completely dependent on the mercy of the spiritual master, is always looking for his mercy, is always want to serve him, even though despite he has anartha, he is still in the safest position because he is relying on the not his strength, but he is relying on the spiritual master's strength. That's why he is in the safest position. Then he will be able to get out from this darkness of ignorance because Krishna is assuring through his pure devotee. Tesham sa evanu kampartam aham ajnanajam tamah nasayami atma bhavastu gnanadipena vasvutam. Now I think we have discussed pre itself so much. So let's come to the verses today, 7:35 already. We are supposed to discuss Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beautiful pastimes. Let's see, it may be extended today. Let's come to the first verse. Today's first verse, ChatuSloki. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bodha bhava samvita. What does it mean? There are so many ways to understand this verse. So first look at the first line. So first two lines. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Aham, Krishna himself is saying, I am pervaded everywhere. Sarvasya, that means everywhere, throughout the material and spiritual world. Sarvasya prabhavo. Mattam sarva pravartate. The whole material manifestation, what you see of this material world and also the spiritual world. The spiritual world, the expansion is done by Lord Balaram. This material world is also done not directly by him, but his expansion and expansions and expansion. That is three Purusha avatars. So that's why this material world, the material cause is there, efficient cause is there. Sometimes people think this material cause is the efficient cause. A real cause is not the matter. Big Bang theory, they may say the sound, some Big Bang it happened. Yes, actually sound is the first one which produced. It is but actually that is material cause is the material ingredient, these 26 elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether, and then your mind, intelligence, ego, and then dhanendriyas, karmendriyas, all these are there. So the total 26 elements, 24 to 26 elements, these are the material ingredients which is causing this material manifestation to appear after the glance of Mahavishnu, this Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, and then expanding into Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and then expanding into Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, who is nothing but Paramatma in each and every living entity and each and every atom in the universe. So these three Purushavataras, actually, but the material ingredients is not the actual cause. That is only material cause. But the efficient cause is this Karanodaka Sai Vishnu. But the ultimate cause is who? Sarva Karana Karanam, who is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. But the direct cause is material ingredients, and then further cause, efficient cause is Nimitta and Pradhan. Nimitta is the efficient cause, Pradhan is the material cause. So the efficient cause is Karnodaka Sai Vishnu. And through his glance, then this material world is manifestation is happening. Sometimes as the woman becomes pregnant and then delivers a child, does it mean that woman is independently able to produce a child? She is the cause. She is only cause for the body, but that also without the male connection, there is no way to produce the child. So that means that she is not the only cause. So that's why at the same way, this material ingredient cannot produce a material manifest material world by itself. It needs the superior energy which the Supreme Lord has to glance. Then only this material world can be created. So that Krishna is indicating that Aham Sarvasya Prabho Matta Sarvam Pravartate. That means also all the rasas of conjugal rasa, Sakya rasa, Vatsal rasa, Madhur rasa, Shantaras, Dasras, all these rasas are also coming from him. Everything is pervaded from him, this material and spiritual world. That means everything belongs to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So that's why one must develop love. That means if everything is coming from him, if we have love for Krishna, if we have the love for the him, then we must love everything coming from him also. We must utilize everything from him. So that's the Lord Balaram is the one who's doing the actual Keti body. So the agriculture is removing, actually taking the plow and removing all the anarthas. So that's why we need the strength, and Guru is the representative of the Lord Balaram, Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and also Sandhini potency it is called, Kriya Shakti. He is the one actually doing that, removing these anarthas, clearing everything. So then Krishna can appear into the heart. Krishna can reveal, even though he's there as Paramatma, he's not talking to us, he's not revealing anything to us. We're not able to understand his guidance or his instructions. We're not able to, everything has been concealed. So that's why we need his mercy. So that's why in this verse it's been describing Aham Sarvasya Prabho Matta Sarvam Pravartate. First, Krishna is describing how everything is coming from him and everything is the source. So that means we have to develop love for him, and we have to develop love of everything coming from him. That's why when we go in the kitchen, we cannot touch anything with the feet. We cannot. We have to be very careful of utilizing everything in the service because it is Radharani's kitchen. You can't even bow down in kitchen. You can't even bow down in the altar because it is we are supposed to do service there. Constant absorption should be in the service only, nothing else. Not for gaining any benefit, but rather giving every benefit, and the whole time should be spent how to please Guru and Krishna senses, how to please Srimad Radharani through the acharyas. So that's why we have to be very, very attentive whenever we are on the altar, whenever we are in the kitchen doing service, whether this kitchen, the deity kitchen, or the devotee kitchen. Whenever we are assisting, helping in various service, we have to be attentive to the details because it belongs, the kitchen belongs to Srimati Radharani. It's not different from her. Everything is the expansion of Lord Balram. That's why we can't touch anything with the feet, and everything must be touched with the hand. And nothing should fall down, nothing should be touched with feet, neither vegetables, nothing, even the peels, even the trash, nothing should be touched with feet, because everything belongs to Lord Balram. He is expansion. Lord Balram is expanding in every way. So that's why we have to be very careful. Everything is coming from Krishna. So that's why everything we have to develop, have that love, have that connection and understanding, that reflection of everything is coming from Krishna. Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravartate. And also this verse is talking about three things: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. First, he is describing our relationship, our living entity's relationship with the Supreme Lord. Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Iti Matva, first two lines is representing how he is the Supreme Lord, everything is coming from him. And Jiva must develop love for him. So that relation is describing first two lines, Sambandha, and then he's describing the third line, iti matva bhajante mam, that practice of devotion service. The sambandha and abhideya. Abhideya means practice. Once you understand your relation with the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in one of the rasas, that will be revealed. But initially in the sadhana step, in the practicing stage, we will just serve in the general capacity as a servant of Gopubat, Dasa Dasanudas. In that mood, it will be revealed when we come to that higher and higher stages. It will be naturally revealed in our hearts by the mercy of Guru. So that's the third line is representing iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Iti matva bhajante mam, that by devotion service, by understanding Krishna's position, understanding our position, and understanding that relationship with Krishna and us, then we act in devotion service to please his senses through his representatives. So that's why we are not independent. We shouldn't act independently. We should be always dependent on the instructions of Guru and Krishna. It is understanding that the water is coming in the pipe. water is coming in the pipe, then is the pipe is independent? No, water is flowing just through the pipe. Water source is somewhere else. Pipe is only helping is to connect and bring that water to the destination. Wherever the same way the spiritual master is transparent via media, and whoever is representing them is also transparent via media. We don't have any strength whatsoever, or we don't have any qualification whatsoever. However great may be, however experienced may be, how many years we might be practicing, none of this matters. We should be always in that. We are just a connecting pipe. We are always drawing that water, drawing the mercy from the acharyas. Then we will be able to actually understand this mercy and remove the ignorance in the heart. Otherwise, there is no possibility. There is no possibility to practice devotion service, especially pure devotion service. Otherwise, it will be filled with dharma. I will come to temple. I will get some sukruti. I'll get benefit. My family will get nice job, or I'll get some wealth. I'll get a nice home, or I'll get I'll be able to retire nicely, or my kids gets married to nice people. All these benefits we will be looking for: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and to the extent, and then we will be looking for liberation. But none of these are all not pleasing to Krishna. We are looking for some byproducts. The real thing is to actually serve, please the Krishna senses. So that is what the actual reality. Krishna prema. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give actually Krishna prema, not for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are all cheating. Bhagavatam begins with that. Cheating. These are all cheating, coming under cheating. Only Krishna prema is the real thing, real vastu. Vedyam vastavam vastu vastavam. तापत्रयोन्मूलन श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनि कृते किं वा परेरीश्वर साध्यो हृदय अवरुध्यते तत्र अत्र क्षितिभिः तत्क्षणात्. Immediately one who acts in that way, thinking to only please Guru and Krishna, and then tatkshanat, very quickly, rapidly, Krishna will be established in the heart, and he will start reciprocating with that devotee. One who is seriously trying to please Guru and Krishna senses. Otherwise, it won't be. Krishna won't reveal anything. He will conceal himself. So the first verse is talking about that. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam. Then what will happen? Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Then the result will be intelligence. Actually, the real devotion will manifest in the heart. Our original swarupa will be revealed. What rasa we have, the heart transformation will happen. Transformation of the heart, the bhava, Buddha bhava, the ecstatic symptoms, manifestation of the ecstatic symptoms. That's what is that? Verse is there. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogada mukta sangasya jayate. So the one verse before the Krishna prema stage, as Sri Rupa Goswami is explaining, sadhakanam mayam premno pradut bhavet krama adav siddha tata sadhu sango tata bhajana kriya anartha nivrittisya tata anishta tata ruchi tata asakti tata bhava tata Krishna prema abhyudanchati. Rupa Goswami is explaining these various stages of devotion service. Coming to highest stage is Asakti and Bhava, and then Krishna Prema. The highest last three stages are Asakti, then Bhava, ecstatic symptoms, then Krishna Prema. In Asakti and Bhava stage is the stage where Lord Krishna actually starts revealing himself, communicating either through the transcendental sound vibration within the heart, or he will appear in front of us and start showing himself either briefly or a little bit extended time, and then he will disappear. And then the last stage will be to increase our actual strength, increase inspiring us to come to the even further intensity, the greed for him. Then we'll come to the higher stage of Krishna Prema. So that's why this last verse is the first verse, the last line is talking about Abhideya Prayojana also. Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana, all three things. In the first verse, Krishna is speaking how everything, Krishna is source of everything, how everything is coming from him. By simply understanding that and serving him with deep affection and love, by transformation of the heart, we have to serve with the heart. Serve with the heart. That means heart is always with love. We have to be not common dealings. That's why when love is there, then we will think that did Krishna eat properly? Did I serve him properly? So did I serve him attentively? Did I please him really? Or did I please myself? So then we can reflect and we can see. So when we have real love, then we will see. They're like how how our mother serves, despite we do all kinds of tantrums, but mother is always ready to serve. So even though she might be old, 60, 70, whatever, even though she might be not well, but she's ready to feed the child. Always, even though he might be grown up, he might be acting weirdly, but still, for mother, childly child, even though he might be 40, 50 years, he might be earning a lot of money, he might have a lot of wealth, but still, for mother, still it is child, she is ready to feed. He might be embarrassed, but mother is not embarrassed to feed him with her own hands. This is the position of the law, at least to the closest we can get. But even further than that, it extends the Guru's love and Krishna's love is even further beyond, because none of the material inabilities is there in Guru. Guru is always thinking how to please Krishna's senses, how to present as it is without changing adulteration, without expecting anything, without adding or subtracting. And so that is the position of Guru. So that's why Krishna is mentioning in this verse. And then Krishna is mentioning in the next verse, Mat Chitta, then what will happen? Once we understand the Sambandha and Abhideya and Prayojan, then now he's elaborating on the Abhideya aspect. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojani is concluded in the first verse itself, everything in the first verse, eighth verse. And now in the next verse is Krishna is talking about now what will devotees will do, what the practitioners who are devotees what they will do once they understand these aspects. Matchitta, Madgata, Prana, Bodhayanta, Parasparam, Katayantascha Mam, Nityam, Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. This verse is talking about Abhideya and Prayojan, the last two. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. Sambandha is relationship, Abhideya is the practice, and then the Prayojan is the result of attaining Krishna Prema is the result. Goal is to attain Krishna. Yeah. Forget there's yeah, Preetir, what is that? Preetir Vishay. I forget the Sanskrit terminology, but anyway, we'll come to that. So this verse is talking about Matchitta, Madgata Prana. Mat chitta. Our chitta means our consciousness, our mind, our intelligence, everything will be fully absorbed. As soon as we come to this state of consciousness, as Krishna described in the previous verse, of that loving exchanges with heart transformation, not with mind, not with intelligence, not with the senses, as we described in the morning. Our gross body is fully full of ignorance. That's why Sarira Avidyajal. That's why we take Krishna Prasad in thinking that it is Krishna's remnant, not a single grain should be wasted. We should think that Krishna has given these remnants. We have to taste whatever prasad is there. It is not. Oh, this is not paneer. Then I don't want. I want to take this. No, everything is Krishna's remnant. That means we have to have that understanding, that affection, that this is mercy of Krishna. Whatever comes, we should take it. That is so. That's what it is. Krishna's mercy, remnants. That's how Sri Prabhupada takes. He was always alone, taking separately. Is completely absorbed in that mood whenever he takes prasad. That's a Sarira Avidya Jahal. Because this gross body is filled with us. That's why as soon as we wake up to we sleep, all the time we are thinking in this bodily concept only. We are constantly thinking how I will take care of this body, what I am supposed to do. Nothing of the spiritual qualities, spiritual activity we are not thinking. Are we thinking? 24 by 7 are we thinking? No, hardly. Maybe while chanting, maybe little bit. We are thinking of Krishna and his Guru and his activities or some service. But we are not thinking. But rest of the day, we are thinking of my job, my family, my house, my this, my that, my this, my that. This only we are thinking. And so we are not thinking actually of Krishna. So that's why that is Sarira Avidya Jal. Bodily concept of life is there. So then further is the Jadendriya Tahe Kal. The senses are also constantly disturbing us, agitating us, enjoy this, enjoy that, constantly of this material happiness, and then obviously distress is there. Everybody is looking to somehow or the other, Atyanta Dukkha Nivrutti. Nobody wants distress, but distress will come by its own accord. As happiness is coming, distress also will come. And without even trying, it will come. That's why it is Sarira Vidyajal Jadendriya Tahe Kal. This is like the serpent senses. Serpent, venomous serpent is so dangerous. Same way, these senses are also so dangerous. When it is not used in Krishna service, it is so dangerous. It will constantly agitate us, constant to look after this thing. No, why not this? Why this person is saying this? Why not this? Why not we go here? Why don't we eat this? Or why not we do that? Nothing related to Krishna. Most of the time, it is nothing related to Krishna. Constantly. Because senses are always, because senses are filled with these things. And Sarira Vidyajal, Jadendri Tahakal, then what will happen? Jive File Vijano, Sarira Vidyajal, Jadendri Tahakal, Vishay Sagre, Jive File Vishay Sagre. Then we are entering into the deepest dark well of ignorance. Vishaya Sagre. Vishaya means these material objects. Sense pleasing these material senses, material objects, sense pleasure. Vishaya Sagre, entering into the ocean. When you are entering into the ocean, is there a way to come out? No. You need somebody's help to actually reach the, reach the end, reach the bank of the ocean. It's so vast. The material, samsara dava, nalanida loka, tranaya karunya gana gana. So only by Guru's mercy will we be able to actually, when he showers mercy, then we will be able to cross over. Otherwise, there is no possibility. We can understand how much this ignorance is covered throughout. Now, that's why the heart has to be cleansed by Lord Balaram. Heart has to be cleansed by Srimad Radharani. These two potencies in the form of Guru. Guru is, that's why he's heavy. He can remove this. And then our heart will be enlightened. Then we will have the actual real transcendental heart. Then we will have clear idea what is what. Right now we don't have a clear idea what is what. Otherwise, throughout the day, we'll constantly think how to please, how to serve, how to change our lifestyle, how to change our actions, how to change our behaviors, how to utilize carefully each and every word comes from our mouth, how to not to listen to Gramya Katha, everything we'll know. Right now, we don't know what is right, what is not right, what's supposed to be done, what not supposed to be done, or what is the actual real goal of life, we don't know. None of this. Otherwise, we will not act on the bodily platform of life. So that's why this verse is talking about understanding that of loving transformation in the heart. Mat chitta, madgata prana is life and soul. When Vidura Maharaj came back from pilgrimage, then what did Yudhishthira said? Yudhishthira said, "My life and soul has come back." Right? It was in agitation. It is in the material conception. But as soon as you came now, my heart and soul, my life has come now. Because he is carrying Krishna. Vidura Maharaj is an ardent, greedy devotee of Krishna, is constantly absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. So when the pure devotee sees another pure devotee, when the devotee sees the pure devotee of the Lord, genuine, whose heart is simple, one's heart is not simple, it is very difficult to attain, practice bhakti, attain Krishna. Heart has to be simple heart. Means no duplicitous nature. It's not going to work in devotion service. It has to be simple. So that's why Yudhishthira Maharaj is immediately said this as soon as Vidura Maharaj is actually enlivened completely. Are we enlivened when we see the pure devotee of the Lord? We are not enlivened. We are not enlivened. When Gaurapune Mahaprabhu's appearance coming itself, we are not enlivened. We are so laid back. चलेगा फेस्टिवल चलेगा कोई ना कोई आएगा कोई ना कोई करेगा आप क्या करेगा दूसरा करेंगे तो आप क्या करेंगे देखेंगे क्या so this is what is our problem. So we are just seeing, observing. Everything is observing. Many lifetimes we are observing. What are we doing about it? Nothing. We are not doing anything. So this is why the grossest ignorance is there in every pore of our skin and body and soul. So we are thinking, oh, somebody else will do. I will some other time I will do. So I will go on the Monday evening when the festival happens. And till that time, what we'll do? We'll just observe. So that's why it is not easy. Festival means we have to put our efforts and minds and thoughts. Matchitta, madgata prana. Life has to be put, life force has to be invested. It is not, otherwise it cannot happen. Things, heart cannot be transformed just like that. When the iron is iron, iron has to be in the fire. Then only it has its effect. Then it is as good as fire. Unless you put in your heart and soul in the service of the Lord, how it will be transformed? What makes us think that it will be transformed like that? We just chant, sit and chant, and then it will happen automatically without putting the efforts. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. It is not so easy. Bhakti is simple, but at the same time, it is not simple. It is not simple because we are filled with so many anarthas. It's not simple. So that's a mat chitta, madgata prana. It is life force. We have to put our life, we have to put our efforts. Madgata prana, bodhayanta. This is talking about gopis of Vrindavan. It is talking about the cowherd boys of Vrindavan. It is talking about the pure devotees of the Lord, like Sri Prabhupada, Vyasdev, Narada Muni, so Prahlad Maharaj. That's why Prahlad Maharaj constantly thinking, oh my Lord, Narsingadev, why are you asking me benefits? Why are you asking me accept this blessing, that blessing, come with me to Vaikuntha? Why are you asking me this? I haven't served my spiritual master. Why should I come with you? Why should I accept? Why should I do business with you? Hmm? तद्वीर्य गायन महामृत मग्न चित्त सोचे ततो विमुखत इंद्रियार्थ माया सुखाय परम उद्वहतो विमूढ़. I'm so much agitated by seeing all these living entities suffering in this material world. After this Maya Sukhaya Param. Thereafter this Maya Sukha, this external happiness, constantly thereafter this way. When will I get this happiness? Because we worked so hard. Oh, today I'm tired. I worked so hard in the office. Now I have to relax. So I have to relax. This is what is going on. Maya Sukhaya Param Udvahato Vimudam. I want to deliver those conditioned souls. That's what Prahlad Maharaj is thinking. Because I have been given transcendental knowledge in the heart while being in the womb by Narada Muni, my spiritual master. I haven't reciprocated. Spiritual master's mercy can never be never be fulfilled. Never be fulfilled. We are always indebted. We can never repay the debt of a spiritual master. So it is not even it cannot be compared to the even mother father. It cannot be compared to even to the demigods. Even that's why the ignorance is even covered. It can be covered to Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. In one place, it is mentioned that when the pure devotee of the Lord comes to Lord Brahma's association, Lord Shiva, they also ready to offer all. They will be ready with all paraphernalia to worship them because they know what the value of the pure devotee of the Lord is. So that's when Narada Muni, Vyasdev, Sukadeva Goswami walked in, everybody is very attentive to listen. Sukadeva Goswami, because he is at the ecstatic stage of heart transformation. 7 days was full of heart transformation, heart surgery was happening. So that's why this verse is of heart surgery. If one wants to really have heart surgery done, then this is the verse. Matchitta, Madgata, Prana, Bodhayanta, Parasparam. Then these three things will happen. Bodhayanta, Parasparam, Katayantascha Mam, Nityam, Tushyanti, Ramanti. There is a Sravanam, there is a Kirtanam, and there is Smaranam. Matchitta, Madgata Prana, his life, full force, his heart and his senses, everything is invested with Bodhayanta Parasparam. He is first of all speaking, Bodhayanta Parasparam. He is exchanging, he is discussing, conversing about Lord Krishna and his representatives, his pastimes and his qualities, his form, all these things he is describing. Matchitta, Madgata Prana, Bodhayanta Parasparam. Then Katayantascha Nityam. He is discussing, he is talking about glorifying, but he is also hearing. Katayantascha Nityam. Then Tushyanticha Ramanticha. He is also in remembrance. Since he heard it and he spoke it, he is glorifying. Sravanam Kirtanam. Then Smaranam is happening. Tushyanticha Ramanticha. He is fully absorbed. He is getting greatest pleasure. Ramanticha. Ramanticha is not of ordinary material pleasure. This we can't even explain. Sukham atyantikam atindriya grahyam. You cannot understand this spiritual happiness because we haven't come to that ecstatic, come to that blissful state inside the heart. We haven't realized it. That's why we are not able to take up. We are not able to take up seriously because we haven't realized what this real spiritual happiness is. Only when you put your effort, then when you realize it, then you will know. Once you realize it, then you stop doing all other unwanted things. You'll not no more looking for material happiness anymore. Because you already you have enough is enough. You understood this whatever pleasure people think of that is nothing. It's not even a drop, not even a drop. So that pleasure is just like a flickering happening. It is just a itching sensation. It will only cause blood to come. That's all. Then at that point it's too late. When you're old, when you're on the hospital bed, it is too late. Too late at that point. No one can help at that time. No one can help. So that's why we have to realize much before, and come to this stage of Machita Madgata Prana, Bodhayanta Parasparam, Katayantascha Mam Nityam, Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. We have to derive greatest pleasure. When will we derive? If we hear attentively, if you hear and you speak about it also. Because if you are in love, then why will you not speak about it? You will want to share, right? You received, if ordinary material things, if you received promotion, if you have received a lot of somehow investment and something happened and then you got a lot of money, or whatever, some important things happened, then you want to share with at least your confidential, at least with your family members or friends or close friends or parents or whatever. Same way, when you are really in love, you have realized it, you are getting the highest happiness, then why will you not share it? Why will you not discuss it? Why will you not discuss it? You will discuss it if you are in love. If you don't have love, then you will not be able to discuss it because you don't understand what this real love is. So that's why gopis of Vrindavan is always talking. They are so much mad that they are talking to the bee. There is a Brahmara Gita. There are so many Gits. The gopis of Vrindavan are always thinking Krishna is right there. As soon as then Narada Muni or someone, someone says that, I think Madhumangal says this Madan Mohan left. That Madan Mohan is that bee, I think. And then immediately she started crying. Srimad Radharani started crying, even though Krishna is right there. So that is the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan. So that's why they are in this mood of constantly in absorption, in love. And they are always ready, they are always discussing. They want to see Krishna. That's why they complain to Yasodamai, your mischievous son has done this. He stole the yogurt, or he urinated here, and he pinched my boys. Something other there. They want to actually talk about Krishna. They want to see Krishna, they want to talk about Krishna. That is the main thing why they are coming and complaining. It is not so much about actually they have some negative feelings of Krishna or they want to actually complain. No. The actual intention is this Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam. Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. I think we will have to. I haven't actually gone deep into these two verses itself. I think let me describe. Let's enter into the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we'll stop. Otherwise, Mondays we have to understand the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, because Monday is important day. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमावती विच विसुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते आजानुलंबित भुजौ कनकावदातौ संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलाय तक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्म पालो वंदे जगत प्रिय करो करुणावतारो वंदे जगत प्रिय करो करुणावतारो वंदे जगत प्रिय करो करुणावतारो. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gauranga's ecstasy in seeing Jagannath temple. In the distance, Lord Chaitanya saw the beautiful temple of Lord Jagannath shining brightly like the moonlight. A large red silk flag flapped majestically atop the Kailas. Reposing on the crest of Nilagiri hill, the beautiful temple of the Lord of the universe looked like the effulgent snow-capped Mount Kailash. Gauranga saw an attractive boy standing on the top of the temple, moving his fingers up and down, and that boy was calling the Lord forward. Overcome with prema, Lord Chaitanya paid obeisances to the boy. The Lord crashed down on the ground unconscious. Seeing Lord Chaitanya lying motionless and not breathing, the devotees became shocked and frantically called the Lord. He did not respond. Although living, Gauranga appeared gone. Suddenly he jumped up, displaying ecstatic symptoms in his body, as we're discussing. Machita Madgata Prana. We can understand this ecstasy, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exhibiting. That's why he has come. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya condenses into 100 verses. One of the verses that I'm trying to recollect, but maybe it will come next. sometime later. He jumped up, displaying ecstatic symptoms in his body. The devotees felt rejuvenated by the sight, but they wondered what had happened. Mahaprabhu asked, did any of you see a boy standing on top of Jagannath's temple? I see a beautiful boy whose complexion was brighter than blue sapphire and chanting the three words. Though they didn't see anyone, the devotees said they did. Mahaprabhu said they did. Mahaprabhu said, look, look, there he is. The beautiful boy is still on top of the temple. His smiling face and an incomparably gorgeous body made of nectar. He is holding a flute in his left hand, moving the beautiful fingers of his right hand. He is calling me toward him. Then the Lord raced down on the road to Lord Jagannath temple. The devotees followed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauranga's effulgent body glowed like millions of moons. The sandalwood bulb tilak on his forehead was dazzling. His red cloth resembled the rising sun. Lord Chaitanya offered obeisances over and over as he walked down the road to the temple. An unceasing stream of tears ran from his eyes. Big bumps of ecstasy erupted all over his body. Absorbed in Krishna, Prema, Gaurahari soon arrived at the sacred lake called Makhande Sarovar. He bathed there, paid obeisance to Yagneswara, gave charity, and kept walking, seeing Lord Jagannath's temple looming in the distance. Gauranga fell on the ground to pay obeisances, immersed in love of God. This is what we are supposed to do. As soon as we see, like if you are going for Radha Yatra, as soon as we see the Lord in the distance, we pay obeisances immediately, half obeisance or so. And then when we go near again, we offer obeisance. And then Mahaprabhu is showing here. Immersed in love of God, the Lord wept through without stopping. Attracted by the intense love of Gaura Rai, Lord Jagannath extended his long arms and appeared before Lord Chaitanya. He called, come, come, come to me. Lord Chaitanya became stunned to see the Lord and rolled on the ground. Then in a blissful voice, Gauranga said, oh Lord Jagannath, you are so merciful to show yourself to me. Gaura cried loudly when Lord Jagannath suddenly disappeared. Then Nilachal Chandra reappeared and Lord Chaitanya burst into joy. Nilachala Chandramu Prabhu Jagannath, Prabhu Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladevo, Jai Subhadra, Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Baba Tume, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladevo, Jai Subhadra, Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Baba Tume, Nilachala Chandramu, Prabhu Jagannath, Prabhu Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladevo, Jai Subhadra. Waves of nectar from the ocean of divine love washed over Gaura's body, tears roaring, horripilation appeared in their wake. In such a maddened state of ecstasy, Gauranga quickly came to the house of Sarabhama Bhattacharya, who cordially welcomed the Lord and offered him an asana. Lord Chaitanya takes darshan of Lord Jagannath. Lord Chaitanya said, I am very eager to see Lord Jagannath. How will it be possible? When my heart fills with apprehension at the prospect. Sarabhama Bhattacharya was astounded to see the splendid beauty of Gauranga. The Lord's body was molten gold, towering like Mount Sumeru. His gorgeous face shimmered like moon rays. His shoulders were more powerful than the lion's. He had wide elongated eyes like the petals of a lotus flower. His neck was nicely shaped like a conch shell, and his long arms extended to his knees. Had all the auspicious signs of a Mahapurusha, the great personality. Beholding Sri Chaitanya's unusually attractive form, amazed and stunned Sarvabhauma, he wondered, I have never seen such an indescribably beautiful person. There is no demigod to compare with him. It seems Vaikuntanath, the Lord of Vaikuntha, must be standing before me. Sarvabhauma told his son to take Gaurahari to see Lord Jagannath and listen carefully to whatever he said. When Lord Chaitanya came before Simhadwara, the main gate of the temple, he lost control of his body and began staggering due to ecstatic love of God. With the careful assistance of his associates, the Lord entered the gate and went into the North Mandir Darshan area in front of the deity. Standing behind the Garuda Stamba, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu most of the times did. He didn't go inside. He didn't feel that he's qualified to see. So he came always, he was at the Garuda and in seeing the Lord. Lord Chaitanya gazed at the beautiful moonlight face of Lord Jagannath. and with unblinking eyes, intense feelings of the spiritual rapture seized Gauranga's body. As a result, his bodily hair stood up straight, appearing like the stiffened filaments of a golden kadamba flower. Tears flowed in 5 or 7 streams from his lotus side, losing himself in the bliss of pure Krishna consciousness. Sri Gaura Rai became stunned and collapsed on the ground unconscious. It appeared like the peak of a mountain breaking off due to high wind. His eyes were closed and his fists were tightly clenched. Soon Lord Chaitanya returned to external consciousness. Dancing and chanting Hari Hari, he entered the temple with other devotees. Srivas, Damodar, Murari, Mukunda sang the glories of Radha and Krishna and danced exuberantly. Then Gaurasundar and his loving associate returned to the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Again, Lord Chaitanya fell into a trance of divine euphoria and performed Sankirtan, observing the blissful activities of the Lord, filled Sarvabhauma's heart with wonder and pleasure. When Gaura Nataraj stopped dancing, Sarvabhauma sent a man to bring Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasad. Meanwhile, they discussed philosophy. Vasudeva Sarvabhauma said, Mahaprabhu, please tell me your birthplace. Gauranga said, whatever you say, that is true. Sarvabhauma, why are you answering me like this? I say one thing and then you say something else. Gauranga kept silent, as grave as the ocean. Sarvabhauma, will you please tell me how you became a sannyasi? Gauranga, definitely. No, this is truth. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was totally bewildered by Mahaprabhu's equivocal statements. Just like Arjuna said that in the third chapter or fifth chapter beginning. Your statements or your instructions are equivocal. I can't understand. Can you explain? Again, repeated question. Arjuna asked, I think, fifth chapter beginning. He couldn't understand anything about Lord Chaitanya, who is the beloved Lord of millions of Saraswatis, goddesses of knowledge. Not knowing whether Gauranga was God himself or just a madman, Sarvabhauma became upset. Gauranga glorified Lord Jagannath Mahaprabhu. At that time, the huge quantity of Lord Jagannath Mahaprasad arrived. Thrilled to see it, Mahaprabhu bowed his head to offer respects and then roared like a lion, filling the universe with the sound. Whenever we get Jagannath Mahaprasad on the Ekadasi day, we are not supposed to consume it. We offer our obeisances, we offer our pay our respects, and then we keep it on the side and honor it next day. This is the etiquette. This is our Siddhanta. Chaitra Mahaprabhu is showing here. Everyone felt ecstatic by taking Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasad. Although Gadada, Nityananda, and other devotees saw this, they kept quiet because they know everything. Then Mahaprabhu honored Lord Jagannath's remnant. Srinivas said, Mahaprabhu, I am a little afraid to ask, but if you permit, then I will ask a question. After you took Mahaprasad, I saw that you are smiling blissfully. Can you tell us about you are smiling about? Hearing this, the Lord became joyful and revealed his heart. Due to the pastime of Katyayani, even the animals are receiving Mahaprasad. But even after great endeavor, demigods such as Indra and Chandra and Gandharvas can't obtain it. Devotees like Narada, Sukadeva, Prahlad, and others rarely get to taste this Mahaprasad. Now everyone is relishing such Mahaprasad. Anyone who rejects Mahaprasad, considering it to be ordinary food, will lose his piety and take birth as a pig. One should accept Mahaprasad and eat it immediately without consideration. Not on Ekadasi day. Not on Ekadasi day. Even if we should offer our respects and obeisances like Haridas Thakur. Until he finished his chanting, he never accepted. He offered his obeisance and respect, then he took it after. So this is the etiquette we have to understand from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. Even if it has fallen from the mouth of a dog, there is never any defect in Mahaprasad. Two things in this world never gets contaminated. One is the Jagannath Mahaprasad, other is the Vrindavan dust. So it never gets contaminated. Next, Mahaprabhu honored some Mahaprasad. In the evening, he took darshan of Lord Jagannath with his full blooming lotus eyes and complexion, the color of the monsoon cloud. Lord Jagannath's face was most charming to behold. The whole universe could not contain the ecstasy Lord Chaitanya felt upon seeing Lord Jagannath. The intensity of his Krishna prema made Gauranga tumble to the ground. It appeared as if the golden Mount Sumeru was rolling on the ground. The dazzling effulgence of Gauranga's body made Lord Jagannath also appear golden. Lord Balarama and the temple priests also became absorbed in Gauranga's ecstatic mood. Seeing this, all the devotees floated in ocean of bliss. The temple priest worshipped Lord Chaitanya, whom he saw as Lord Jagannath, now moving in the form of sannyasi. No one had ever seen such an amazing sight. Surfacing from the deep ocean of prema, Lord Chaitanya went back to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. In this way, Lord Chaitanya tasted boundless happiness in taking Lord Jagannath's darshan 3 times a day. He also passed the days and nights discussing Radha Krishna Prema Tattva with his intimate followers, teaching Vedanta and Sadhguru revealed. After this section, we'll close it today. Now listen carefully to the pastime that was first revealed in Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri. Lord Chaitanya lived humbly without any material possessions to teach renunciation to the people. This is Sri Chaitanya Sikshartam Eka Purusha Puman Sri Chaitanya Sarira Dhari Yastam Maham Prapadde. I am forgetting the first two lines. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offered after hearing 7 days. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya composed 100 verses. In that, one of the verses is this Vairagya Vidya Nijabhakti Yoga Siksha Sri Chaitanya Sriradhari Yastam Maham Prapadde. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is submitting how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas order and he has come to teach us Vairagya Vidya, how to be internally detached from the material pleasures. Internally detached. That's why he has come. And to give Krishna Prema. Detached from the material pleasures, but attached to the highest blissful consciousness of transformation of love of heart. So that is what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is concluding. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was proud of his mundane scholarship, once said something incorrect about Lord Sri Chaitanya to an assembly of Brahmana and saintly persons. He said, although Sri Chaitanya is a scholar hailing from a good family, he has taken sannyas at such an young age. With incomplete knowledge, this Brahmana has taken such a serious step. Now he could rectify himself and deeply study Vedanta. It is not the dharma of a sannyasi to chant and dance wildly in the streets. Better he should study Vedanta from me and go back to family life. Suddenly Gauranga appeared within that assembly. His face was adorned with a sweet smile, appearing like a constant flow of honey. Startled, Sarvabhauma got up immediately to receive Lord Chaitanya. He praised Lord and offered the seat. Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu said, I don't know all the rules, but you, Sarvabhauma, being a great scholar, know everything. Please tell me the rules and regulations. Although I don't understand the duties of a sannyasi, Providence has arranged that I am one. Now please explain the proper rules and conduct of a sannyasi. You know and teach Vedanta. So now please instruct me. It is said that one shouldn't take sannyas at the prime of life. What is the scriptural rule about taking diksha? Sarvabhauma, being surprised by Lord Chaitanya's frankness, felt shy and hesitant to reply. He thought, how did this sannyasi know that I was talking about him with my followers? The next day, Gauranga and his followers returned to Sarvabhauma's house. Lord Chaitanya wanted to learn the confidential conclusions of the Vedanta and taking shelter of the nectarian lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Hearing this shocked Sarvabhauma, who then realized that the darling of Sachi Mata was no ordinary human being. Today's verse is also connected with this. That's it. It is not by mundane scholarship. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a great scholar, great Vedantist. He was operating in this Brahman effulgence, Brahman and Nirvisaya Sunyavadi, especially Brahmavadi platform, Mayavadi, that philosophy is on that Sankaracharya thing. But let's see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does it. Then Sarvabhauma, the best of the Brahmanas, folded his hands and offered prayers to Gauranga. Astonishing everyone, Lord Chaitanya manifested a six-handed form, Sadbhuj form. Sarvabhauma became full of an ecstasy when he saw this transcendental form. Hold on, did I miss something? Hold on. Yeah, I think, yes. Uh, yeah, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thought, I have never heard such an explanation of Vedanta. I have become very proud after spending my whole life studying and teaching Vedanta. But upon hearing Sri Chaitanya's presentation of it, I understand that he is favored by Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Then Sarvabhauma, the best of the Brahmanas, folded his hands and offered prayers to Gauranga. Astonishing everyone, Lord Chaitanya manifested six-handed form, Satbhuj form. Sarvabhauma became full of ecstasy when he saw this transcendental form of the Lord in one place at one time, and from one body, Lord Chaitanya showed a six-armed form. In two raised arms, Lord held two bow and arrow, that is Lord Ramachandra. He held a flute to his lips with his two other hands, that is Lord Krishna's form. In his two arms, hanging by his side, he clutched a sannyas, danda, and water pot, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form. All three forms he showed in this Shadbhuj form. Entranced in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, Sarvabhauma fell at the Gauranga's feet crying. Then just before fainting, Sarvabhauma in faltering voice offered Lord Gauranga a prayer called Chaitanya Sahasranama, the 1,000 names of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, Lochandas describes the manifestation of Shadbhuj to Sarvabhauma in Jagannath Puri. In this way, Sri Krishna Chaitanya happily lived in Nilachal. Every day the devotees came to visit Lord Gauranga. The daily darshan of Lord Jagannath filled everyone's heart with the joy of Krishna consciousness, which can describe the unlimited pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Since I can't control myself, I will attempt to say something about them. This book is based on the questions of Damodar Pandit and answers given by Murari Gupta, one of the world's foremost scholars. Murari Gupta quoted many slokas to Damodar Pandit in order to explain the transcendental teachings and pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By the mercy of these two eternal associates of Lord, I felt immense ecstasy within my heart as I eagerly heard the nectarian topics of Gauranga. Overlooking my defects, my mind became absorbed and I spoke according to the realizations of my consciousness. Therefore, such a wretched fool and as myself has attempted to recount all these pastimes in Adikanda and Madhyakanda. The description of Lord Chaitanya's transcendental pastimes are manifestation of my Krishna consciousness. This is Lochandas Thakur. See how he is submitting. Is he submitting as a great scholar? No, he is not. This is the mood of Acharya, always accepting as a disciple. He is always thinking that I am a disciple of my Guru. I am borrowing the mercy and strength and intelligence and the spiritual consciousness and I am presenting as it is. He is not thinking independent. So then only he can present. That's why it is so beautiful. And then only you can see the actual heart will transform and you can write something of transcendental nature. Otherwise, there is no possibility. That's why so many people have written so many versions of Bhagavad Gita, but they couldn't transform a single person into a devotee. They themselves couldn't transform their heart. Then how can they transform others' heart? They can't. Love is not of these material characteristics. And then they can transform. They can transform somebody into a scholar or a rich man or this or that, but they can transform a heart of a person to the transcendental capacity. They can't do it. Only pure devotee who has real, genuine love can do this. I'll stop here. Any quick questions and comments you can ask, otherwise, we'll conclude. So, yeah. You can unmute and ask if you have any questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Yes, Ashresh Karna Jagannath, go ahead.
Prabhu, you already told me that two things in this material world is transcendental. One is Jagannath Prasadam, another is that dust of the Vrindavan.
Yes.
But I heard that another one, Prabhu, that is correct. This Harinam Mahamantra also.
Yes, Harinam Mahamantra is given already. Yes. It is never contaminated, obviously, because this is transcendental sound. Goloke Pramadana Harinam Sankirtan. It has come from Goloka, it is not of the material sound. So that's why it is never contaminated. So, yeah.
Okay, that means our three things in this material world is transcendental, Prabhu.
Yeah. You can think like that. Because it is Shastra, and somewhere it is mentioned these two things. But
Okay, Prabhu. So
Harinam
that
is already, it is transcendental. Yeah. It is transcendental. Yeah.
Okay, Babu. Dandavat Pranam.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Babu.
No
Maybe
problem.
I'm horrible, Babu.
Anyone else? Any other questions, comments? Okay.